If I understand Roger Penrose correctly, you, my dear friend, have had atoms within you, or have, I should say, atoms within you, which have existed before this universe's current state of excitation began. And again, if I understand him correctly, when this universe falls back into a low state of excitation, it being in a higher state of excitation at the moment, when it falls back into a low state of excitation, these atoms will still exist in some shape or form until the universe once again enters another high state of excitation. So what has this got to do with the price of shopping in the supermarket, for example? Well, I think to begin with the philosophical angle on that, not the price of shopping in the supermarket, but Roger Penrose's theory, it means that the atoms within you, dear friend, have existed forever, eternally, in some shape or form, which was not known as the name given to you by your parents, but was known, if it inhabited conscious beings, by whatever name it was given. These atoms would have been known by whatever name they were given. But now these atoms inhabit you. They are part of you. They are part of who you are. And so what does that have to do with the price of shopping in the supermarket? Well, when we walk to the supermarket with this thought in mind, and also with the thought of what items we need to purchase, we need to carry both thoughts, obviously. But when we walk to the supermarket with this philosophical thought in mind, without prejudice to the more practical thoughts, and without prejudice to the more practical thoughts when we're crossing the road, for example, when we can't really afford to be too philosophical about life, because cars can be dangerous if we don't spot them soon enough as they're hurtling towards us. So what has this got to do with the price of shopping in the supermarket? Well, when we hold this thought in mind, and when we realize, very importantly, that there is an infinity of life within us and all around us, just waiting to be discovered, that the trillions of atoms within you have a life of their own, which you and I know so little about still. Even if we are physicists, and even if we are biologists working at the cutting edge of biology, we are nevertheless hugely ignorant of the more complete nature of the infinity of atoms, of the trillions of atoms within us. We are also hugely ignorant of the complete nature of the infinity of atoms all around us. So what has this got to do with the price of shopping in the supermarket? Well, when we are aware of, or try to be more aware of the infinity of life within us and all around us, then the price rises of the shopping in the supermarket maybe will not bite us so hard as otherwise, because we live in this philosophical bubble, if you like, of thinking well, I can still afford to do my shopping, hopefully. I'm not starving. I just have to be careful with the pennies, careful not to purchase food that's too expensive, and careful to be purchasing wholesome food that won't destroy my health, that will enable me to continue to live a healthy life, hopefully. But also the philosophical thought itself of, or seeking to be aware of the infinity of life within us and around us, gives me a calmer perspective on my own eventual death in this form, or as I see it, of the transformation of the atoms which make up this body into an infinity of future forms. So, even sort of the extinction of the human race, which is a possibility always. We have not been around as humans forever. We've only been around for a few 100,000 years in our current Homo sapien classification. So we have not been around forever, and we might transform into something greater, or we might stay as we are for a few 100,000 years if we survive. Of course, I'd prefer that we transform into something greater, because I think an essential part of greatness is maintaining that greatness. And to maintain any form of greatness, we need to know how to survive. And I mean by something greater, we transform from Homo sapiens into a future species way more advanced than Homo sapiens, in the same way that Homo sapiens were more advanced than hominids. So we may indeed transform into something, as I hope, way more advanced than Homo sapiens, and including with a good grounding on survival, a good grounding on how to maintain our quote unquote greatness, or our superiority over Homo sapiens in terms of perception, knowledge, and so forth. In other words, transform into a civilization way more advanced than Homo sapiens, and able to sustain itself as that greater civilization than Homo sapiens. So, when the price of shopping in the supermarket gets a bit too expensive, then I guess I have the consolation of knowing that if I can't afford to, if I am on a trajectory towards starvation, then I have the philosophical consolation of knowing that these atoms, which are currently known by my birth name in this instance, the name chosen for me by my parents, will continue in an infinity of future manifestations of matter, energy, and consciousness. So, dear friend, I hope this has video has enabled you to look a little more stoically at the price of shopping in the supermarket. Thank you.